Today we're going to talk about comparing and ordering rational numbers. Now, yesterday we talked about what a rational number is. Remember, it's n over d, where these two things, top and bottom, are integers. Okay, and the bottom, remember, d can't be 0. Also, decimals that either terminate or repeat, like 3.25 or something like that, or 1.3, repeating. So put that at the top of your page. Put today's date in the top right. Okay, one vocab term today, least common denominator. You've heard this before, least common denominator. It is the least common multiple of the denominators, and that's plural because we're going to have more than one. LCD, that's important, LCD, least common denominator. So write that down, and here's an example. If I have 2/5 and 3/4, the least common denominator, well, let's see what their multiples are. We have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, that should be about good. Here we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Do we have any in common? Yeah, we have 20. So 20 would be the least common denominator. So that's what that is. And this would be, if that multiplies to get to 20, you have to multiply by 4. So you multiply that by 4. So it would be 8/20ths. This, to get to 20, you have to multiply by 5. Multiply by 5, you get 15. All right, so that's least common denominator. So here, we're going to multiply to find a common denominator, multiply. Here's how that works. So here we have 5/8 and 7/12. We need to see which is bigger. So I'm going to multiply this. I'm going to multiply the denominators by each other. Here's how that works. I'm going to multiply this by 8 and this by 12. Because 8 times 12 here is 96. 12 times 8, again, 96. So now we have a common denominator. But whatever we do to the denominator, we have to do to the numerator. So here I'm going to multiply that by 12 and get 60. Multiply that by 8 and get 56. Now, we have 60 96 and 56 96ths, and we know that 60 96 is bigger. So we know that's bigger. Try number 2 on your own. Okay, welcome back. So we're going to multiply the denominators by each other. So this we're going to multiply by 6. This we're going to multiply by 10. So we get 60 in the denominator. And since we multiply the bottom here by 6, we multiply the top by 6, we get 42. Here we multiply the top by 10, we get 50. Now what's bigger? 50 60ths or 42 60ths? Well, 50 60ths is bigger. So we know that's bigger. Here, we're going to find the least common denominator. The least common denominator between 4 and 6, well, let's think about 4. What are the multiples of 4? Well, we have 4, 8, 12, 16. That should be about good. For 6, what do we have? 6, 12. Oh, we can stop right there because we have 12. So we know 12 is going to be our least common denominator. How do you go from 4 to 12? Well, you multiply by 3. And whatever you do to the denominator, you have to do to the numerator. So 3/4 becomes 9/12. Here, to go from 6 to 12, because we're talking about least common denominator, you would multiply by 2. So you multiply the top by 2. And we would get 10/12. Now what's bigger, 9/12 or 10/12? Well, 10/12 is bigger. Try number 4 on your own. Okay, welcome back. So least common denominator here is 15. So we're going to multiply this by 5. And we're going to multiply this by 3 and see what happens. And we do the top by the same thing that we did the bottom by. So that's going to end up being 10/15. And this is going to end up being 12/15. Now which one's bigger? 12/15. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to use decimals to do it. So if I look here, I want to change this into a decimal. Well, I'm just going to change, this is going to be 3 point something, okay? So let's divide 3 by 8. Remember, whatever goes on top goes inside. I know I'm going to have to use decimals for this. 8 doesn't go into 3, but it does go into 30 3 times. 3 times 8 is 24. Subtract, we get 6. Bring a 0 down. Oh, I forgot to put my decimal there. 8 goes into 60. Let's 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56. Subtract, we get 4. Bring down a 0. 8 goes into 45 times. 5 times 8 is 40. Subtract, we get 0. All right, so I know that that's 3.375. Now, 3 3/5. Well, you know what? I know that 3/5 is the same as 6/10, and 6/10 is just 0.6, so I know that that's 3.6. Now, what's bigger, 3.375 or 3.6? Well, 3.6 is bigger. Now, for number 6, one of them's a fraction and one of them's a decimal. So we'll leave the decimal alone because we're changing them to decimals. Let's try 9 divided by 11. Again, we're going to need a decimal here. Put a bunch of zeros out. We put as many as we need. 11 doesn't go into 9, but it goes into 90 8 times. Put that decimal there. 8 times 11 is 88. Subtract, we get 2. Bring down a 0. 11 goes into 20 once. 1 times 11 is 11. Subtract, we get 9. Bring a 0 down. 11 goes into 90 8 times. And we do 8 times 11, which is 88. Subtract, we get 2. It looks like a pattern forming, right? Bring a 0 down. 11 goes into 20 once. Yeah, there's a pattern. 0.81 repeating. Now, we know that if this is 0.81 repeating, that's bigger than 0.08 because, or 0.8 because 0.8 is just 0.80. So we know that that's bigger. Try these two on your own. Okay, welcome back. So it's going to be 5 point something and 5 point something. Well, let's do the 2/9 part. So I'm going to do 2.000. I'll take it out to about 3 places if I need to. 9 goes into 20 twice. Again, we need that right there. 2 times 9 is 18. Subtract, we get 2. 0. 9 goes into 20 twice. 2 times 9 is 18. Subtract, we get 2. Bring down a 0. I think it's going to keep going on, right? 0.2, 2, 2, 2 forever. So let's do that. 0.2 repeating. Oh, sorry. 5.2 repeating because that's a 5 and 2/9. Now let's do 2/7. 2 divided by 7, and I'm going to use a bunch of zeros, right? 7, no, need that decimal. 7 goes into 20. It doesn't go into 2, so it goes into 20 twice. 2 times 7 is 14. Subtract, we get 6. Bring down a 0. 7 goes into 60 8 times. 7 times 8 is 56. Subtract, we get 4. Bring down a 0. 7 goes into 45 times. I think we could probably stop there. So that's going to be about 5.285. Now, this is 5.222. So if we line those up, 5.222, look, this is bigger because it has the 8 on it. Okay, so we know that this is bigger. For number 8 here, we have to divide 1 divided by 9. So I'm going to do 1.0000 for a while. Put the decimal there. 9 goes into 10 once. 1 times 9 is 9. Subtract, bring a 0 down. 9 goes into 10 once. 1 times 9 is 9. Subtract 1, bring a 0 down. I think this is going to keep going on for a while. Okay, so we know that this is 0.1 repeating. Now, what's bigger, 0.1 or 0.1 repeating? Well, if we would match them all up, 0.1, remember, 0.1 is actually 0.10, and this is 0.11. So we know that this is going to be bigger. Okay, remember, least common denominator. Find a common denominator, then compare the numerators. That's kind of easy. Or change everything into decimals.